Hello, 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 everyone. Happy Monday. Today is Monday, July 29th, and it is 11 a.m. And we are so excited that you are here with us. As you know, I am Janelle the model, and look who's with me, y'all. It's Coach T. We are here together. We are talking all things Kingdom Fitness. Disclaimer: no, we're not going to be doing a workout. So you're okay. But yeah, she and I. Well, we'll do our little introductions of each other, and then we'll kind of talk about how, um, this came about. So for those of you who may or may not know, well, those who may not know, but I am Janelle the model. I am a Kingdom lifestyle influencer, and pretty much what that means is I encourage and teach women, young ladies and women primarily, but all believers, how to be loyal, how to show they are living out their lifestyle, the lifestyle for Christ. I'm passionate about health, fitness, and just being confident in the skin that God has given. So I'll talk more about that, but I'm going to throw it over to Coach T so that she can introduce herself.
Yes, I am so excited, Coach Janelle, to be on our first Kingdom Fitness. I'm just excited. We'll talk more about that. For those who don't know me, because we are live and I'm sure folks will see us on the replay, but I am Coach T. I usually hang out with red glasses like I am today. It's kind of the thing that I do. And to tell you a little bit more about me is I'm in the space of health and wellness. I really work with women that are facing chronic disease or some kind of diagnosis that are really seeking ways to get healed and honor their bodies and their minds so that they can go in by the way of how God really wants to see them and they see themselves. So I look forward to, having some time together today with my girlfriend, Coach Janelle, to kind of share and really share what we're doing and what's going on so we can help anyone that really wants a little bit more encouragement and words of action to get their health in order. So that's a little bit about me.
Oh, awesome, awesome. Just really quick for those, we are streaming on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn. So if you are catching this, we ask that you comment, engage with us, and even share it out. And for those who are on the replay,
Hmm. Did she just stop? Okay, our live stream. Did you just stop? Okay.
okay,
You froze.
all right,
You
yeah,
okay?
that was yeah, I'm good. That was weird. Let me
Okay.
make sure I got my Wi-Fi um, on my other devices open.
Okay.
But okay, so sorry about that. I was just encouraging everyone to share and engage. And I see that we have Christina, we have Coach Kelly on. Thank you, everyone. Those wherever the various platforms. Um, a little bit about how this came about. When I do my Saturday sessions with Father, of course, shameless plug. Saturday sessions with Father on Saturday mornings at 8:15 on my channel. Um, I was talking about just taking care of your body, and just because we are now, our body is no longer ours. Um, we belong to Father. We belong to God. And I was just talking about different things that I eat, different things that I do, and I don't remember specifically what I said, but Coach T was like, "Hey, let's talk more about that." So it was just talking about how we are to honor and take care of our bodies in a way that's pleasing to God. And I believe it was, of course, it's talking about health and fitness, but it's just overall. So if I'll share a little bit about my story, my testimony. Um, so yes, Janelle the model. Of course, I was in the modeling industry for almost 20 years.
A
And
long time, girl.
I know, right? Oh my gosh.
That's a long time.
And the thing is, so I'm short. Even though I look tall, I'm under for industry standard, I'm short. I'm considered short. So I wasn't the 5'7", 5'8", 5'9" that they require as the minimum to be a model for runway. And I loved walking down the catwalk, right? So from a young age, that was always something that I wanted to do. And I thought that because, okay, well, if I'm not, tall enough, I can be skinny enough to be a model, to be considered a model. Because when you look at that back in the days, praise God that things have changed now to an extent. It was more so you have to be like a size -2, 0 in order to be a model. So that was where I developed 2 eating disorders. It was really one, but then it grew into 2: anorexia nervosa and bulimia nervosa, and that was what I struggled with all of high school, college. So that's 8 years. Well, I was on the 5-year college plan. So let's say 9 years, because I didn't graduate in the 4 because I was excited and I partied a little too much. But seriously, so that carried on even into my adulthood. So for half of my modeling career, almost, I was battling this disorder, and so that's kind of just where my passion to change once we'll get into once I met the Lord seriously, and that's how things have changed. But that's my background as far as why why I'm so passionate about being confident in how you've been created, and just really living healthy. And I think one of the things that we had said, being skinny does not necessarily mean that you're healthy. But Coach T, if you want to share a little bit about
Yeah. First of all, I want to acknowledge what you're sharing because that's serious stuff when you talk about anorexic and bulimia,
yeah.
eating disorders. I've definitely met women over the years who I've worked with, might have mentioned, not in deepness in terms of their story, but mentioned, yes, I've had, the kind of eating disorder. And we have to acknowledge that because society will have us think a certain way, and which not necessarily is true. It's
Hmm.
what God says for us to do, right? So my story is a little different. I found out, well, I was one of those girls back in the day that was on like the cheerleading team, and I learned to walk a lot in the city because I grew up in Brooklyn, so I'm always taking the trains and the buses. So you walk around and all that other stuff. I never had an issue with my weight um, until until I got married, and my husband loves to cook. So
Uh,
you
yes.
start gaining a little weight. You know that, right? You start gaining a little weight. Let's be
Uh-huh.
real. How you doing, Gwen? Good to see you today. Um, you gain a little weight, but it wasn't a lot. It was just, that marriage weight the first couple of years. And then, bam, girl, I get diagnosed with something called systemic lupus. And you guys can look that up. I don't want to get into like the whole ins and outs of it, but I'll tell you, it's an autoimmune condition that really knocked me out. I had a lot of pain. I felt miserable. They gave me medication to subdue it and kind of keep it under wraps. But unfortunately, the medicine made me gain weight because I started eating even more. And on top of that, eating more, I was feeling denial because I couldn't deal with the fact that this is happening to me. And I started eating even more than that in addition to the medication. So over the years, I gained like 100 pounds. I gained 100 pounds, and my body was fighting, literally fighting um, to survive. To
Mm.
survive. I mean, I'm 5'9 3/4", by height. And you talk about height with regard to
Yeah.
modeling, and we talked about this, I think, off camera, that in college they asked me to model, and I knew my parents weren't going to go for that, so I never did it. But yes, I'm 5'9 3/4", but just imagine on that frame additional 100 pounds. It's probably more than that. I'm just giving you. I knew it was at least 100. It's probably more
Wow.
than that, to be honest with you. Um, but it made me feel uh, even more miserable when I did it, because now I look different. My face is all fat. People are making jokes about me behind my back, even my family. I mean, it was just crazy, girl. It was like, how do you deal with the fact that you're 100 pounds of weight when your body's not used to that? So I'm breathing, my breathing is labored.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm getting extra pains that aren't, I mean, I'm getting pains because of quote unquote the diagnosis, but now I'm getting pains where it's affecting my joints, and the medication combining together is affecting my joints, that next thing you know it, I have to go for surgery because my hip is out of line,
Wow.
stuff like
Wow.
that. So yeah, it's, girl, that weight is something to um really take some time to consider for yourself. What am I doing? What am I
Yeah.
doing? What is the root cause? And this is interesting because just this week, this Sunday, my pastor's talking about the root of stuff, the bitterness of stuff, and how David and his son Absalom, and how that happened. And you guys can always check the Old Testament on that. But it made me think, when I was in that situation, girl, what was the root of me going to eat like that? Was it the
Right.
case that now I'm ashamed of my
Mm.
body, and you're giving me medicine and it's going out of proportion to what I'm used to seeing? And then the fact that, again, I have this diagnosis. How are people looking at me now? How's my husband responding to me? How are the circle of friends that I'm dealing with
Right.
responded to me? You know what I'm saying? So you
Right.
you got all these emotions in your head, and you react instead of responding.
Yeah. And that's so good that you mentioned that, because even for me, I kind of had the opposite. It was more for me like, why don't you all see me how I see me? So
Right.
I'm barely pushing 100 at like 20.
Ooh, isn't that something? You're
You know what I'm saying?
barely pushing 100.
I'm barely pushing that, and everyone's like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And I'm like, "I'm fine." And so for me, it's like I was like, "Why aren't you seeing me how I see me?" And the
Right.
root cause, like you said, we have to get to that root cause, and the only one, because this is Kingdom Fitness, the only one who can show us that root is Father, is God.
Amen.
And
Amen.
because when what I learned is, yes, throughout the time it was just about, oh, I want to be skinny so I can model, or I want to be skinny, but who it turned into so much more. It became actually controlling for me. And
Ooh.
that's
Ooh.
kind of, that might be something else for
Ooh.
another
We got
another
yeah.
show, to
I
write that
gotta
down. But
write
that's
that
what it
down. Yep.
is. That's exactly what it is. And it started to control me, because yeah, I won't go too much into that, but
Because we can make that another one. Believe me,
we can make
control.
that another show. But it wasn't until I had it wasn't here. Let me say it like this. It wasn't until I had to come to the realization that what I was doing wasn't honoring God, wasn't pleasing Him. Then I was able to, because my husband, he told me this. Someone else, everyone else. I'm like, but y'all don't see what I see. I see myself as ugly. I see myself, watch this, as fat.
Mm-hmm.
Even though, like I'm saying, the blessing and I don't want to say the blessing and the curse, but it's so interesting looking back when, like, the memories pop up on the different social media platforms. When those memories pop up, sometimes I almost cry, because I look at myself even a few years ago, and I look and I see myself. I'm like, wow, I could just see the, not that I was bone thin, thankfully I gained a little bit of weight, but even years ago, I could see how just being so thin wasn't healthy for me.
I
And I
know.
could
know.
the appearance. And but it wasn't until, and then I'll let you go, it wasn't until God, he lovingly gave me this, I guess this, not disclaimer, but he said to me, he said, you are slapping me in the face when
Mm.
you are saying that, when you want to change anything about your body, when you are saying that you're fat, you're this, when you're doing anything, you're slapping me in the face, basically saying like, I made a mistake by creating you this way.
Drop the mic right there. How many women, and I mean, we have a lot of people online. I want to address some of the questions in the chat
Yes.
too, Coach. I know Coach Kelly's like, you got those 100 pounds in a year. Nope, it didn't happen in a year. Happened over several years. Uh, and that just that made it worse, I think. I think if I knew it happened in one year, I would have addressed it. But since it was
Right.
happening over a couple of years, it's kind of like sneakily happening in reference to that. And someone even mentioned too, in terms of, I think Coach Kelly might have mentioned identity
Oh,
issue.
absolutely.
And Carol also mentioned something with regard to it can be very let me see if I can go back. I'm trying to figure out this thing, how y'all do
She
this.
said, but
Uh,
the key to healing and freedom is that one, the one you're talking
right.
about.
Yeah, that one. That
Hmm.
one. Yep. When you find out what the root is the healing and freedom. And that only came from me. And I still didn't know Jesus then. Okay, guys, I didn't know Jesus then. Actually, Jesus brought a particular doctor in my life. I had 3 doctors, actually 4 at that time. But one particular doctor, and oh my gosh, I love this man. He retired like 6 or 7 years ago. But he said to me real facts. He said to me, Terrell, if you don't
Hmm.
stop eating the way you're eating, in addition to this condition you have, you are going to
Wow.
die. Your husband will not have a wife, and your children will not have a mom. And I said to him, what? He said, I am serious. And I just started crying. And I was just like, wow, it just really hit me. God sent him to
Hmm.
me to open my eyes
Yeah.
because I had scales in my eyes. I was not focused. I was just all about, I'm miserable. I'm ugly. I'm fat. I'm unattractive. Nobody wants me. How can I deal with this? That's what
Wow.
was going on. And your husbands, right? Our husbands are telling us that's not what it is. I still
That's
love you,
this.
baby.
That's the
I
same
still,
thing with me.
I'm
He's
telling
like,
you.
you. It's when your doctor said you have to stop eating this way. I got that. You have to start eating.
See?
And wow, that's, and it's
Wow.
the same reason. And even something that that I learned years ago, eating, and because I'm quick to, be like, make a smoothie and be like, you know what, I'm not hungry, I don't want to eat anything, I don't want to chew, but so I'll drink a smoothie. I was told by a nutritionist, she's a prophet, she's an awesome woman of God. She told me, she was like, no, your body needs that. And I have a Coach Rubio in here, she's a scientist, so she may be able to help me out with this. But your body needs the chewing sensation. And I'm like totally paraphrasing this in a way. Chewing sensation so that your stomach can do something. But when you don't chew and just have the smoothies, your body's not working the right way. Basically, to that
She's
point.
totally
So
telling you they're definitely right.
yeah, so
It's
even though,
you think about it, your brain is bypassing the sensation
right,
of the textures of your mouth to do what it needs to do in order for your stomach to realize
right,
that
because when you
you're actually
chew,
eating.
the saliva and all of that
Yep, all of that
breakdown and
works.
all
Yep.
of that
Hmm.
stuff. So by me just having a smoothie, that, and then
It's
that,
like drinking
yes,
water,
I'm getting
girl.
nourishment, right? But the funny thing is, then I said, okay, well, I'll I'll do this. I'll start chewing gum to create that. But come
Mm.
on,
Come on now.
no, am I really doing it? And that's God. That's good, Coach Kelly. God created everything to work together with a
Purpose.
purpose, right? And by me, you know, choosing one over the other, I'm not allowing that creation to work in the purpose that it was designed to. So yeah, that's one of the things that I don't want to say a stronghold. Yeah, Carol, that blew my mind about the chewing as well. So that's something that I'm even now conscious of.
Yes.
When because that's something that I'm constantly like, okay, Janelle, you have to eat something. Oh no, I'll just make a smoothie. No, you won't. Like, so even if I just have like some crackers or something to chew to stimulate the saliva and everything so that the body can work what it needs to, then
Which
I'll
is
do
awesome.
that.
I am
Because
excited for you to do
yeah.
that. You know?
but yeah, oh my gosh.
Coach Kelly
And
talked about
that's one of the things.
I'm sorry. Coach Kelly said when you're fasting, you have to ease back in eating. That's true because that's so important. I've seen people do this after a fast. They're eating burgers and fries. That's the worst thing you could do.
Oh
You know,
my
you got
God.
to ease back into it. Have some soup. Have something light. Not even a salad, because sometimes that raw vegetable can upset
Right.
the stomach. So having something really light before you get to the soup or the stuff that you want to do. But you made a point there with regard to the chewing of gum. I used to do that too. I used to chew gum, and then gum gives a false sense of hope to me because it gives you gas. Okay, it gives you
Right.
gas, and then I'm one of those that chew gum and it cracks, and
Yeah.
that disturbs everybody,
Yep.
right? So. So when you say that, these are things like Coach Glenn, food can be a stronghold on so many different levels and different variations. That is so true. It can
Yeah.
be, and I thought about this with food for myself. I had to really learn after the doctor talked to me. I had to learn how to break certain habits and certain strongholds that were holding me down and holding me back, because it's so easy with society and the world on telling you, oh, you're supposed to do this or you're supposed to eat this. Then you get all confused about
Right.
what's good for you, right?
Right.
So, and you're not sure. And then sometimes people just stop. They put up their hands and say, I don't care. I'm just going to eat whatever the heck I want to eat. And then you're dealing with dis-ease in your body. It's not ease, it's dis-ease. That's when we start dealing with the cancer, the hypertension, the heart disease, the obesity, all this other stuff that's going on because we're all confused. One step at a time. And what did God say? I'm going to bring this verse into this because I know we're going to talk about it. This is my favorite verse that I really ground myself on and really help the ladies that I'm working with, is that in the Bible it says, 1 Corinthians 6:19, it says, do you not know that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit who is in you, whom you have received from God? God made us in his image. So that means that everything is working together for our good. And when we disturb it by not eating enough or binge eating or eating the foods that don't really satisfy the cellular level of our body so that we can have strength and our immune systems can be boosted up, we're really not honoring him.
Yeah.
We're really not honoring him. And I didn't recognize that until I came back to him, meaning fully back to him, saved and baptized and stuff like that.
Right.
I was just doing whatever I was doing and thinking it was okay.
Something that you said, I've always heard this, and I sometimes even said, I think I even said it maybe a couple of weeks ago. The creator or the maker of a thing defines how a thing should work. So if we want to know how we should work, how we should function, and that encompasses what we should eat, we should ask God.
Yes.
God
absolutely.
will let us know. And because to the point that you just made, every although there may be similarities, he created us uniquely, so the way you eat may not work with me. And I was on, I believe, LinkedIn one time, and a health and fitness coach, she was talking about, she has clients, and sometimes people say, oh well, what should I eat for this, what should I eat for that? And she said, I can't tell you. And they're like, oh, you're supposed to be. She said, no, I am that, but what I can eat, what I can tolerate may not
Amen.
work for you.
Amen.
And it's and it's like one of those things, like, you know what, that is so true. So for me, I may not be able to eat this type of food, and honestly, God is shifting and I'm, slowly, slowly going along with it. I still have some moments, but he's shifting me to eat a certain way now, because he's like, that's the way I designed you
Yes.
to eat.
Yes.
And so you have to be like, okay, Lord, you can watch all this doctor and what that doctor says, because honestly, when you look up and down social media, when you look up and down all these things, everything that people say, it's like, well, goodness gracious,
Can't eat
will I
nothing.
be okay if I even eat air? Right? They're saying this water, that water, this,
Yeah.
and it's just
Oh,
like,
good.
come on. So if you really want to know, like, okay, God, how do you want me to eat? What do you want me to eat? Where do you want me to get these things from? Because this, as you mentioned, this is your temple. I am your vessel, and you need me to be fueled the right way so that I can do the work. I can do whatever it is that you've assigned me to do, and that's for all of us. So we should, instead of putting so much into what this latest, influencer says, or follow what this diet says, be like, okay, God, what's the kingdom diet? What's for me?
Amen.
For me.
Amen.
Yeah.
I agree with you. And I told you guys in our community, IIMC with Coach Kelly, how had God like I don't know if this is a reshaping of my brain or what he wants me to do, but I talked a lot about the blood type, eating for your blood type. And he came to me a couple of weeks ago and said he wants me, I want to eat God's way. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm exploring that and how I can help everyone do that. You know what I'm saying? So you're right about that. Is just taking time to really listen and hear what he says, because yes, the world will have a lot of different things you do, and
Yeah.
even doctors. I know doctors are good. They've been sent also. Medicine is good for you. I totally believe there's a reason to have medicine, but at the same time, you have to take your time to kind of figure out. Because I've had people, when I used to have a Facebook group, and it was a lot about weight loss and all that other stuff. I had quite a few of people. One woman in particular told me she was on 15 different medications. Now, when you're on 15 different medications, I pretty can guess that some of them are not working together. Okay, because our body works in a certain way. So I honestly feel like this is that, I started out with 6, and I really worked towards getting as much as possible away from the medication so that I can eat more natural stuff that would replace the synthetic in my body. So now I'm down to 1. Now, I know everybody cannot do that, but you can look into ways of doing that. I just recently spoke to one of my physicians, and she said to me, and this is interesting from a doctor, okay? She said she doesn't understand why so many of her patients don't want to do the work. They don't want to go and find out ways of getting healthier.
Yep.
And, she said, I might not know like all the stuff to do, because as a doctor, we give out meds and all that stuff. But she said, I'm really proud of you, Terrell, because you even wrote a book on it. And she says, they can do the same thing you're doing, but why don't they? And I said, that's a great question. That is a great question. And I feel sometimes people feel, what's the word I want to use? God, Holy Spirit, give me the word that I want to use. They might feel a certain way about their bodies. Like I believe Carol said in the feed somewhere, that she knows that she has to start changing the way she, eats, and maybe they have a certain view of themselves about their body. But if we go back to the word and really ground ourselves in the word and understand, we are all beautiful.
Yeah.
We are all worthy. So whatever you can do to improve that healthier habit or healthier eating or healthy, whatever you have to do, God wants you to do that, and not, not look at it like you're unworthy. Because I think that's what happens to women. We kind of feel like, oh, I'm not up to snuff, or I don't look like that girl in the magazine, or I don't look like my girlfriend. And, we comparing ourselves, and instead of like, hey, I am beautiful. I am beautiful. How God created me.
Let me give you let me tell you the truth about the girl in the magazine. Photoshop, all of that is
really.
I mean, so yeah, to an extent, because when you look in the magazine, everything has to be perfect, has
Oh,
to be pleasing, so that people want to be like, oh, I want to buy this dress, oh, I want to look like her. Not to say that she doesn't have the Coca-Cola shaped bottle, but sometimes in editing
mm.
they like to nip things a little, smooth things out. So I just wanted to say that. But
Oh my God.
but I like what you said about those who don't want to do the work, and that is so true. That, because I'll say it for myself. I've been guilty of that. I know, researching um, recipes, or wanting to try different recipes. I'm like, I don't feel like doing that work. I'll just go get something that's already
Yes,
made
yes,
to it. But no, we can't.
yeah,
We can't do that. I like what Kelly just said. Even now, people have access
yes.
to filters. Yes, they do.
Yeah, Carol just said, break it down for us, Janelle. Tell the truth and set us
Yeah,
free.
yeah. That, I mean,
You know?
that is the truth.
Yeah,
That is so the truth. This is, oh my gosh, this has been so 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 good.
I know. We want to see
Um,
results, you do the work. That's right. Coach said, if it has too many ingredients, I ain't doing it.
listen, that's
This is
another
true.
thing. That is another thing. Even with when it comes to reading labels and the things that we
Yes,
eat, if the
yes.
more you look at something and the more you can't pronounce it, the more you don't need to be consuming it.
That's right. Yes. Keep it simple, guys. That's what I
keep
teach.
keep
Keep
it
it
keep it
simple.
simple.
Keep it
and
simple.
and there, I think one thing that we did with my son, even, there was a certain treat that he loved, and because of it, we noticed, okay, wow, he's really gained a lot of weight. What
Mm,
happened? It's because of this treat. So we were like, okay, we gave him the box and we said, turn it over, read the ingredients. He was like, this, that,
yeah, yeah.
oh, so you get into the part where you can't pronounce anything. We showed him that. He
Never
hasn't
again.
even
That's
asked
right.
for it
That's
again.
right. That's all right.
He hasn't
Yeah.
even asked for it again.
Yeah. And when I'm just going to share what Carol says. She said, work is hard, tedious, uncomfortable, and inconvenient. We have to choose which is hard we want to deal with. And yeah, a lot of times that happens with folks. You start with something, you're consistent for a while, and then you drop off. But I would like to think that if we're walking the walk that Christ has asked us to do, and we're following Him, we will do what we can each day, because each day it's a fight. I don't, just because I'm a health coach don't mean I don't have issues at
Right.
times, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Each day I have to work on dying to my flesh. Oh, and then we make so many decisions in a day. It's probably 4,000 decisions just about food alone, like what I'm going to eat, what I'm going to cook, what
Mm-hmm.
the kids going to want, what my husband want. I got to go grocery
Yep.
shopping, all the things, right? Am I
Yep.
going to look
Yep.
good in this outfit? Am I not going to look in this outfit? I need to, get the weight down off my belly. I got to get firming up my my stuff. So it's almost this thing that each day we have to work on that, and stay in the word, and remember his promises. Remember his
Right.
promises, because
Right.
like you said, when we are eating healthier and finding ways to keep ourselves fit in his kingdom, we can do so much more. And I
Yes.
don't know if we're going to make this a topic or not, but I went to a particular weekend. I went to a prayer fest this week, and I was just looking around, and I was looking at the different pastors, and I was saying to myself, how can we help them to um, be fit, so that they can continue the word for the Lord? Because I've noticed, especially in our community, a lot of pastors tend to be overweight,
Yeah.
not in shape or whatever. And I was just thinking about that. Lord, how can I, help in any way, from my testimony, or from,
Yeah.
what I
Yeah.
do to make that happen? Because, this is real business. This is really serious things that we have to consider, so that we can be here and also be a legacy to our children. They
Yes.
see us eating a certain way, they're going to eat a certain way. We start eating healthier and educating them, like you said with your son, reading the labels, and shopping and eating in proportions, and finding ways to really have our bodies honored, then they'll do the same thing. They only
Right.
do what they see you do, not what
Exactly.
you say, what they
Right.
see you do.
Exactly. Exactly. It's one of those do as I do, not, they see the example. One of the things getting a certain, I stopped getting a certain cookie for my son, one, because I love these cookies too. So it was a battle between us who can finish the bag, right? Got to keep it real. But
Yep.
the point when I said, okay, you know what? I noticed one time I had watermelon and I had cut it up and it was in the fridge, and the next day it was gone, and I was like, I didn't eat all the watermelon. He ate it, and I was like, when did you start eating watermelon? He was like, I like it. I forgot. So I was like, okay, you know what? So now I've been making sure that we have the watermelon. He always loves grapes, so there's always grapes, for him. He likes the purple, I like the green. So I always make sure. So what I've noticed, as long as I have those fruits easily accessible to him, he hasn't asked me about those cookies.
Right.
And
Exactly.
and it's good for me because then I don't have to buy them into myself. But that's how, when we have to be intentional.
And to know. Yes.
That's the key. We have to be intentional, and like Coach Kelly said, we have to be living testimonies and examples of keeping our temples, and that's what I'm doing for him, for those who God sends to my way, whatever, even if it's just for a moment, to have impact in my fellowship. Everyone knows, oh, uh, Prophetess Janelle, she's the smoothie girl. People come to me and ask me for things. Even we were at a cookout this weekend, and they were like, "Now, don't shame us because we have this." I'm like, "Listen, you see what I got on my plate. I mean, it wasn't anything bad. I was like, but I'm having a little bit of potato salad. I'm having this, but because they know what I'm about, they know, okay, at any moment she might talk about that. But they don't, it's not like oh, here she goes. It's like, so wow, you do this, but oh, so wow, you do that. They were asking me about how I clean my fruit and how I store my fruit. Living example. So now they're
Exactly.
asking questions. Now they're like, okay, well, what do I do? That's how it is. But it starts with, or it goes back to us being intentional and knowing that we have to honor our bodies. We have to, because we are God's vessel. We are His temple, and He needs us.
Yes.
He
Yes.
needs us to be able. Now we don't have to be. I mean, if we can be, great. Like how these Olympians are and all
Yeah.
this other stuff. But Lord, let me just not get winded when I preach, okay?
I
Let
think
me
you're
not
doing
have
very
to just
well, Coach
hold.
Janelle. Pastor
but but
Janelle.
but but I mean, that's my point. Like, to what you were saying, a lot of pastors and leaders and those who are speaking, they get out of breath, and
Yes,
they're not hooping when they preach. They literally are out of breath because of the weight, because of piling on, piling on, piling on. Do I have Clemitra? No, I don't have a video, but I can give you one. I can record a video if that's what you would like. I will do that. Okay. And I'll post it here on my YouTube. Yes.
yes, yes. But like Coach Ruby said, she don't think we learn enough about these topics and how
Yeah.
it intersects, and that's what we're looking to do, Coach Janelle and I, in terms of Kingdom Fitness. It's not like you said, just because you're skinny don't mean you're fit. It's all about, let's
Right.
educate everyone and really get them to understand a little bit more. Because I like the fact that how you change what you have in your household, and I share that all the time. But you don't bring it in, then you don't have to worry about not eating it. And
Yep.
I used to
Yep.
be the ice cream person, and just recently, I did get some ice cream, and I kept it in there for 2 months again. And my husband
Mm.
says, "Why do you do that? Why do you buy ice cream and then you don't eat it?" And I don't know if this is, I have to work on that, Coach. I have to work on not buying it at all because I'm not going to eat it. I just see
Yeah.
it, and I was like, "Oh, this looks nice. Maybe I'll eat it." And then I buy it. That's silly. That's silly. So,
Yeah.
but it's better just to go out if I really want it, just to go out, have it, and that's it. That's usually the better
Yeah.
way to handle that and stuff like that. But it's really true with regard to us in terms of recipes. Let us know in the comments, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if we have any guys out there, but if we do, that's great. Let us know what topics you would like for us to bring to the
Yes,
table that
definitely.
we can definitely bring together from our experiences of in our lives of people that we've actually worked with too. Because we would glad to be talking about it. We need to really have people really talking about it. And Coach Kelly says, "I was never that mom with snacks at frozen fruits." That's really good.
That's yeah.
I could, yeah, and I can say, going. My mother was a dietitian when she was alive, and we never had snacks either. She wasn't the one to go to a restaurant. She would always cook. We had Sunday dinners, and it's just funny. I'm going to share this quick story. Just this week, last week now, because we're on Monday. Last week we had to travel for a funeral down south, and they have repasts. And my husband says,
Mhm.
be prepared because they're not going to have anything for you to eat, right? Because
Yeah.
we're in the South. And so did he say. The first thing they had was fried chicken. So I told him, no, I don't eat fried chicken. And then she said, well, I have some bread and had ham in it. I don't eat pork. And then she says, okay, well, I have some green beans. The green beans had pork. I said, I can't eat that. Then
Yep.
she said, well,
Yep.
I have some mashed potatoes. I said, I don't like mashed potatoes. Then she says, well, I have mac and cheese and potato salad. I said, I don't eat those either. She said, girl, what you going to eat? I got to feed you. I said, well, I'll have a piece of the coconut custard pie because I haven't had that in a long time. So I had a little piece of that and some water. I was fine. But
Yeah.
people, when we go to these things, you feel sometimes they make you feel guilty. And I didn't
Right.
feel
Right.
guilty for telling her no. I just wanted to
Yeah.
let
That's
you know. I
good.
didn't feel guilty.
That's good.
But I knew in my heart that I just don't eat that. And I didn't want to start something that I know wasn't for my temple to eat. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So that's just not the South. That's every black repast. You hear Coach Kelly? She said everybody is like the black repast. Yeah, probably. Um, that's probably true. Did Coach Chanel did you just freeze, girl? Okay, you okay.
It,
Yeah. She said that's every
I
black
did.
repast.
I did. But that's all right. Yeah, I saw
That's
that comment. I was laughing at that. That's what made me freeze. I laughed at that comment. I think I laughed too hard. But I just want to say this, and I guess we'll probably get ready to wrap it up. But the one thing that I love that you said is, you were okay with telling her no, and
yes.
that's something that we need to be confident in. When you begin to live or eat a certain way, like when I went to that barbecue, was with the leaders in the fellowship that I belong to. They know, like, we have some salmon burgers for you, or we have some salad for you, so they know whenever I'm going to be on the scene, there's going to at least be
Yes,
something
that's
that I
nice.
can
Yeah.
eat. Even though I did make a fruit salad, kind of made too much, but that's okay.
That's okay.
But yeah, oh yeah, no, everyone took some home, but at least I said, okay, well, if there's nothing else, I'll
You can eat
have
that.
that for myself. But when I go places, people know for the fact, and like you said, you have to be okay with, no, I don't eat that. No, I don't, because a lot of times people will make you feel bad because you don't eat all of that stuff, but you're just like, you know what, this is the way that God has me eating, so I'm honoring and respecting that. But
Exactly.
yeah, this
This
was
has been
great.
wonderful.
This was great, and I
We didn't know
thank
how
you.
this
Oh my.
was going to roll.
Oh no, I knew how it was gonna go. I knew it was gonna go awesome because God instructed. God is in the midst. So, and as the shirt
Yes,
says,
that's
we go
true.
with His flow. So, listen, thank you everyone who was watching Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn. Thank you so much,
Okay.
and especially for being engaging. And like Coach T said, if there's topics that you would like us to discuss, please, by all means, however whoever you're connected with, whichever one, just let us know, because we will be back August 26th. That's another Monday. We will be back live with another Kingdom Fitness talk, and who knows by then what we're gonna do. I know we might be able to push for an hour. I'm only just having to end it soon because I got to go get my son from his summer
Yes.
program. But this was great. This was awesome.
Yes.
So please, 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 yes,
And
ladies
share it
and
out,
gentlemen,
guys. Share it out. Share
yes,
it out to folks that can definitely benefit from this talk. So thank you so
let us
much,
to
guys.
discuss.
Yes.
Yes, please do. And yeah, so make sure you connect with
Yes,
us if you're
please,
not.
Stephanie.
I'm on I'm on what, Facebook, and I'm on YouTube. I'm also on IG, but also connect with Coach T on LinkedIn. Connect with us. Yes, we want to
Yes.
engage, so y'all can let us know what you want to hear, and we'll be back with another talk next month. Just talking about how we, especially primarily as women, because that's who Coach T and I work with, but for believers all over, how we honor our bodies the way that God needs us to. So, you have any final words, Coach T?
Yes, yes. My final words is we have to do it for the kingdom. We have
Yes.
to take care of our bodies. We have all of these labels, ladies. You know that, right? We're moms, we're wives, we're single. We're owners of businesses. We work in these definitely great jobs. We're ministers in a ministry. We have relationships all over the place. All the
Hmm.
things we do. So we have to honor our King with regard to being fit. And as we talk like next month, we'll talk about some other stuff. But we're so blessed to have you guys here live. I see
Yes.
I see a whole bunch of people I didn't say hello to, but
I know.
I, I see Karen here. I see Carol here. Coach Ruby. I see my other pal over there. I believe I can't pronounce him. Did I pronounce? Clements is there. Creatively Miss Meek, director on a budget. Oh gosh, what is her first name? I know her first name, but I don't remember it right now. But anyway, but thank you all for being here, and just share
Yeah.
this out. And let your friends know that we're here and that they can benefit from this conversation too.
And
So
also,
we'll
if you're
see you
on
guys.
YouTube, make sure you like
Yes,
this. The algorithms, as Coach Kelly says, so people know that there's something going on over here. Yes, so
that's
like
right.
them.
Like
Whether
this.
if
And
you're on,
subscribe to our channels, right? Yeah, that helps
yes,
too. Yeah.
yes, yes. All right.
Yeah.
So
All the
thank
good
you
things.
all, ladies. Yes, Stephanie. Stephanie is her name. Miss
Stephanie, I think so. Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and those who are watching live and those who were on the replay. We will see you all next month. Bye.
Yes, bye. That was good.